Evening, guys. Welcome back live for Tier 4 now around Monza. Good evening, Plosky. Joining me tonight is Chappers, as I mentioned earlier. Good evening, Chappers. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
Absolutely. So, well, as well as can be. One-shot qualifying here in Italy, followed by a 9-lap sprint race, and then over to the 27-lap feature race here for Tier 4, the final tier of the week, the final sprint of the week. And numbers are lower, purely based on the news that went out this afternoon into this evening. We'll cover that in a little while, guys. Let's get one-shot qualifying out of the way, and we'll go through that in a brief while. But evening, guys. Welcome in. Team Aston here. How you doing, Polovsky? How you doing, man? Don't forget, guys, as well, subs are now active here on Prospects. $4.49 a month if you wish to do it, and you can also do Prime sub as well. So if you've got Amazon Prime, it's free to subscribe.
Yeah, of course, I've already done the subscription to the channel on Twitch. If you've got that little bit of money to spare, then to help the league out, you may as well just go and do it, because everybody here would really appreciate it if you did so. But guys are just starting their one-shot qualifying lap now, and when I did this on Tuesday, I didn't know whether I wanted to completely push it to the absolute limit, because you don't know if you're going to invalidate, because then you could start at the back, whereas you can just try and get a decent solid lap in, so then you're further up the grid and running the risk
and
of.
There's a bit of a shock at the top there at the moment, guys.
Don't jinx it now, please. Don't jinx it, because I don't think the Aston Martin driver that's currently in the lead at the moment. But too pleased with you. And eSports Pain is the first to retire from the session. Vintage as well. Parked in a dangerous location, so did he spin and potentially beach? Maybe.
But guys, right. Who is this? I hate me.
You can click on the name if you're on PC. You can see when the account was created.
No way.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not actually meant to be in here. You are supposed to be banned. So, theoretically speaking, I should be banning you right now.
That's very true.
I have been instructed by directors to ban you from Twitch, from this channel. So, it's a bit of a predicament, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to say what it is. My views on that. We do have your one-shot qualifying results, and that is on page, getting the pole position. Poorly sprint race with Carnage Achilles in second, with Kai Myers in third, with Zippy in fourth, and Just Coming Sun in fifth. T De Silva in sixth, with Tilmo closely followed in seventh, with Villeneuve in eighth, Mason in ninth, Spoof in 10th, MZ in 11th, and Mark 7 God in 12th, Vintage in 13th at disqualification, and eSports Pain rounding off the sprint race grid.
Absolutely. So, Baguette with a page with a pole position here, and into the chat saying, right, yeah, that happened. So
that was a good lap. Yeah.
Very good lap, actually.
That was actually a good lap.
That practice prior to the qualifying has definitely paid off for you. So congrats on that pole position. And you can keep creating them, mate, but they're going to keep getting banned. And unfortunately, I have now been instructed to ban you. So unfortunately, dude, that is what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm waiting for hasta luego.
Off he goes.
That's that done.
Yeah, it's just irritating.
Just give it a few minutes. Just give it a few minutes.
That you have to keep doing that. Like, just don't bother.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, guys. So formation lap. Obviously, news breaking around the world this afternoon. Obviously, was that Queen Elizabeth II was taken poorly. And then it was announced at 6:30 that she passed away at age 96, 70 years on the throne, let's say, and yeah, creating history across UK, longest serving monarch, I think, in the UK and possibly even the world.
I believe so. Yeah, one of the longest reigning in the world, I believe.
We're never going to, obviously, in my lifetime, experience anything like that again, because unless I hit 102, I'm never going to witness anything like that in my lifetime again. So, yeah, very, 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 very sad news being reached out there today. So, I think some drivers are sporting red, white, and blue helmets or pure black helmets.
Yeah, I will be. Yeah.
See, there's quite a few out there that are. I mean, Baguette in particular, with quite a fitting red, white, and blue helmet there. Black with the red, white, and blue on it, which is very patriotic, let's say. Some drivers have chosen not to race this evening, and rightfully so. You know, they haven't been forced to race. There was talks that this race was even going to be postponed this evening. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, obviously, very, very, very sad day, especially for us British. Some other countries obviously very fond of her, but yeah. So thoughts and prayers obviously over there with the royal family. I'm not personally a royalist. I neither like or dislike the royal family. But obviously, you know, it's loss of a loved one. So at this time, you know, you're always going to be with them. No matter who it is, and to be fair, the Queen's done a lot for this country, you know. So, you know, it's still a very, very sad day, unfortunately. But anyway, with that said, over to the racing. A Baguette on pole position. Now, I'm not going on board with Baguette in pole position. I'll let Trappers do the lights out.
And that is 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are away for the sprint race here at Monza for Tier 4, and the McLaren of Kai Myers has a great start there as he just picks ahead of Aston Martin driver. He didn't get the best of starts, and the Haas driver is looking on the inside as well, but doesn't quite make it.
That's
Zippy has spun around. Yep.
That's why she hates starting at the front.
Yep. And that's what can happen, unfortunately, but we have 9 laps of this sprint race still remaining. I believe all the drivers will be sat on those mediums. Yep, for sure. Definitely the best side to be on for this sprint race, and Kai has pulled him in with 2 second gap already.
Mason's just been absolutely obliterated coming through to that chicane before the Lesmos. I'm not sure who that was by actually. There's some damage out there. There's a wing plate, end plate missing. Sorry. Oh, there goes carnage.
That is carnage. No,
that is carnage. Look at that.
Oh, there's more people. There's both the Ferrari.
That is literally carnage. Spoof obviously didn't even want to race this evening. He very much made that very clear that he didn't want to race this evening. Villeneuve. Hold on a minute. They get back up to the third.
Yep, something's happened at the top. Sure, something's happened at the top here. And this is playing quite well for championship as well, because you've got Vintage that's currently sat in 9th and out of the point scoring positions at the moment in the sprint race.
Yeah, definitely the sprint race, yeah.
And there's a little bit of contact there between the Alpine driver as well.
5th place down pit straight into turn 1. Holding the inside, which switches to the outside line, but is he going to get better traction? Yes, he just about gets better traction, but no, here comes Zippy.
Yeah. I believe that the 4 people that are well in contention of this title are Page, I believe it is
Carnage.
Vintage and Zippy.
Carnage and Zippy, yeah.
Yeah, those are the 4 that are within their contention. I will try and find those championship current positions and standings for you guys now, just so you can know what the situation is for this race. I do believe it is a lot closer now, with a couple of the championship contenders having to unfortunately miss last week's racing.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely quite a few, wasn't there, let's be honest.
There was. So, we have Vintage currently sat on 86 points, with Carnage, Achilles on 73, with Page, HC Baguette on 65 points with Zippy on 64. And Kai also creeping in there with 59 points.
Well, eSports Pain's on the Parabolica.
He is.
DRS now enabled. Do you know what, right? It's a weird name, in it, the Parabolica.
Yes.
I mean, very much partially a swear word. What are you doing?
you've just made me realise what. Yeah, you just got into my head now.
What is eSports Pain doing?
I don't know. Something's gone on there.
He's trying to do a 180 into the bits.
Didn't quite work out, so he's going to have to do another lap now.
So MK7 God, all over the back of just Komi-san. Page closing in on Tilmo quite quickly here.
Yes, the pace seems to be pretty strong, if I'm honest.
Well,
so,
there was plenty of laps going in before this, that's for sure. I was trying to play a game of Warzone, and yeah, there was definitely lots of active going on the other end of the park track.
Oh, okay, that's thing to point out. So the Aston Martin driver's definitely been preparing herself for this race or today as well, and very iconic track in my opinion, full Formula 1 racing, and they're actually here this weekend as well for the real life situation.
Yeah,
so
very difficult to hear footsteps with click 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 going on.
Oh yeah, that's the main issue when you've got. That's the main issue when you're on a steering wheel.
Here comes Mark 7 God, who gets past just Komi-san down in, well, just before turn 1. Oh, and just Komi-san's just completely missed his braking zone into the back of Mark 7 God, and he's lucky to not pick up a penalty there. He definitely didn't get a penalty. He's got one, but it wasn't from that. But here comes Vintage. Vintage now coming back through the field into 8th. He was 9th a little while ago. Dispatching of Mason, I think. Carnage Achilles, the other driver in the championship, like going around the inside into the chicane before the Lesmos. I know there's a name for these two corners, but just no idea what they are. Yellow flag, so that is for eSports Pain. Not having much fun out there at all. Good evening, guys, everyone in here. Thanks for tuning in, especially this evening. With everything going on today, much appreciate you guys being here. I mean, I kind of guess it's quite fitting that we do our typical Thursday night chats. Just to try and keep a little bit of normality here, as we get into 2nd place, by the way. So going to be another front row start for her if she can keep hold of this. Still a couple of laps to go here.
I mean, it's the gap to Kai probably won't be clawed down enough, but it'll be interesting to see how much he could potentially claw down that gap to Kai, so then that will give us a good inclination of what potential race pace is looking like as well, and that goes for all of the drivers.
It's 5.2 at the start of the pit straight. So let's get going. What did everyone have for dinner tonight?
Steak.
You had steak for dinner tonight. Was it from your van?
No, it was not. We don't do that.
So you don't. Oh, okay. So you do like burgers and things, yeah?
Yes, we do, and fish and chips and things like that.
So you had steak. I had a pot noodle.
Nice. Chicken and mushroom.
Yes. What did everyone
else have? That or the Bombay Bad Boy one is the bomb.
Yeah, and I had 4 pieces of bread and butter to go with it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did pick in there. Something I learned from when I was from my old working days. It was a really easy but filling snack.
Tell you what I do though, if I have a chicken and mushroom pot noodle, I put a little bit more salt in there, and I also put a Worcester sauce in there as well.
Fair play.
It adds like a little bit of
vintage, almost round of Parabolica there.
Nice. Yeah, that's a very big moment there.
Forget a second in 2 laps.
Wow, yeah, that's quite a lot. And as you said, Vintage, they're having a bit of moment.
Having some tangling there at turn 1 and 2. Yeah, so what did everyone else have for dinner tonight, guys? Did anybody have the traditional British meals? Maybe there was some special meals going on. I'm sure people out there somewhere have had, full-on British meals.
It's quite fitting if you do, to be fair, but some maybe won't, but yeah, it's one of those situations at the moment, you know, for a lot of countries, and especially in like the Commonwealth as well, for example.
Yes. I'm gonna have to pass you over to. This is gonna be very awkward, guys. I do apologise. I need to give my little boy a bottle.
That's
because
fine.
he has just woken up for a feed, and it is my turn, so I will be doing the bottle. But I will be here, but not quite so vocal, guys. I'll be back in a second.
No problem. So I will just see who Zippo is currently on board with, and I will take over for the short while whilst Zippo does his daddy duties. He is currently on board with Elmerv, who's currently sat in P4, just behind Tilmo there, so these two actually have kind of caught up to page. As I say that, as I look up, there is a safety car for esports team. Apologies for my lack of awareness there whilst trying to get the stream back up and running on my systems. But yes, it's an interesting moment here at the end of this race. You see some of the back markers now of this race, just pitting for those soft tyres, which end of the day, they've nothing to lose. They may as well put them on and see what they can do for probably the last lap or 2 laps of this sprint race, and they could potentially get into the points if they can fly through the pack quick enough on those much more lenient tyres for this race. These soft tyres do wear quite a lot, in my opinion. The soft tyres in the actual race, the 50% race, they normally last about 6 laps on the delta, but you can probably push to 8 or 9. So they're not ideally the best tyre to be on for the main event, but certainly if there's a safety car in the sprint race, and you know, if you think you want to try it, you may as well do it. You know, if you've got nothing to lose, you know. So that's interesting to see that 3 drivers have done that with Promi Sam Mason and then Pete Silver, who's just actually coming out of the first sector now. So Peter Silva quite far away from the pack. So I'm gonna presume that the safety car is in this lap. Actually, I've just seen Kai has backed them up. So we are going to get going racing now for a 2-lap dash to the end. This is going to be very interesting when we are going to see Kai give it the guns. And he lets the pack go now, and he gets an incredible restart on this safety car. Restart from the Aston Martin driver, who seems to be under pressure from Kilmer. You're here. Perfect.
I've kind of got one hand on the controller.
That's fine.
One hand on a baby, one hand on a bottle. Yes, guys, I do have 3 hands.
That's... Oh, hello.
Yes, we've had a big... what looks like a big issue there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that safety car's come out of a bit of a...
Yeah, just give me two seconds if I'll be back in a moment. I've just heard something about what's been going on today.
As Vintage getting past Tilmo. Tilmo's actually had a really big issue here. He's now dropping down into 8th place. Now he was in 3rd place a moment ago. But Get's time is now 1.4 to Kai. So Kai looking to take victory here unless he has any issue the next lap and a half or lap and a quarter, let's say. Further back we've got Spoof and Carnage in the 2 Ferraris changing positions there. Apologies for the really sloppy changes through the cars here. I've heard of this all one-handed at the moment. As here comes just Komi-san on Mason. Mason both weaving down that straight there, not entirely sportsmanlike there from these 2 drivers. Very what I would class is illegal defending, maybe breaking the slipstream. But guys, here comes Baguette on the final lap of the Grand Prix, all over the back of Kai. Can he hold on for victory, or can Baguette close that gap enough? And I don't think the gap's going to get closed quick enough, but a very solid P2 and another front row start. MZ plays out of the session. retiring in the pits as Mason and just Komisan changing positions through the chicane, and he's having to get out of the way of Tilmo as he goes through the Lesmo 1. Into Lesmo 2, down towards the DRS straight, but DRS obviously isn't going to be enabled because of that safety car. And sorry guys, here comes Kai coming around the parabolic one last time. He is going to take that checkered flag and the victory and a front row start on pole position for the feature race, with HDE Baguette joining him on the front row in second place. So there we go then. So as Villeneuve crosses the line in third place, Mark 7 got in fourth, PBE Vintage crossing the line in fourth actually. Mark 7 got down into fifth place. I can count. Mason in sixth, Carnage Achilles in seventh, Tilmo eighth, as it was Zippy, I believe. And there we go. That is the sprint race there, 9-lap sprint race, finished for Tier 4. Into the feature race we go in a second, and a very good, to be fair though, it was a very good comeback for you. Very good comeback. So there is just classification there. Kai winning, Baguette second, Villeneuve in third place. Vintage, Mark 7 God, Mason, Carnage Achilles and Tilmo, your point scorers. And then you had Spoofx, Zippy, Just Komisan, T De Silva, MZ Plays, Esports Pain, not scoring points. Into the feature race we go.
We are heading into the feature race. I am now back, guys. I just have to check a few things and things that have come out about today that I'm sure other people will hear about after the race is completed. But as Zippo has said, we are now heading into the main race here today at Monza.
Villeneuve, I didn't, mate. I'm just about struggling with a controller at the moment, so I didn't see it, unfortunately.
So we have now loaded into the main race of
That was a very quick turnaround.
Yep.
Someone's already pressed ready up.
Well, I mean, they'll already have their setups on the cars anyway,
Strategy-wise, though, it was a bit quick for strategies.
Just a little bit, yeah. Someone was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm going for." Bosh, straight in. No mess in there for one of the drivers. So yeah, we have got 4 seconds now until the formation lap gets underway, and it'll be McLaren just leading the way of the pack of 14 drivers today. And as Zippo said before on the previous formation lap, with the news that was come out today, the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, some drivers have opted to not race tonight, which is completely understandable, and everybody can understand where they're coming from. But we are having to go ahead with today as well, because the drivers are wanting to race and are sporting some black helmets, or black with a bit of a blue, red and white, which I think is a very good tribute in my opinion. But yeah, we are going to be getting underway very shortly with this Tier 4 feature race here at Monza.
Yeah, and you've got Carnage and T De Silva, the only two drivers on the softs. Baguette gone for hards, and everybody else on the mediums.
That's a different choice of tyre there, especially for the Aston Martin driver in second, who is the only driver starting on those hards, and those hards can go quite a considerable time, to be fair, on this race. I think we saw a couple of drivers in Tier 1
David
go to about lap
20
in
there with the Prime subscription. Let's go. Nice.
David,
don't forget, guys, you can subscribe for $49 a month, or if you do have Amazon Prime, you can actually subscribe for free it's a nice little bonus that you have there. And he is the first Prime subscription, so he also has a first badge next to him.
You must do, because I was the first one for the normal without Prime. So, yeah, as Quasar said, EE. Yeah, that's a definite EE moment.
Very strange, this. You're part of the founder gang, yes, very much. We are the founder gang, oh dear me.
Legend status.
Oh, but getting disqualified. Look how far back it's put her on the.
That's actually crazy how far I push you back.
Yeah,
looking at it now.
But yes, as I said, guys, over the weekend we are going to be, well, we are. I will be logging into the actual dashboard, sorting some stuff out for your channel points and things that you get. We have got the red lights, I believe. Yes, we have. So we're going to go on board with Kai for lights out. And it is lights out. We're racing here for the feature race, 27 laps of Monza, and Kai gets a very good start indeed. Going into turn one, they get with a huge queue behind her, but she does actually get through turn one cleanly this time. However, just behind there is some carnage, and MK7 got coming back very quickly around the inside there, but she hold on, just about holds on, going in through the Curva Grande into the chicane there. But yeah, guys, as I was saying, over the weekend I am going to be sorting out. Oh,
bit of contact there between Vintage and Tillman. Tillman just hit the back of Vintage there. I think Vintage ran a little bit deep, and then Tillman just didn't quite anticipate it, and that was it. Hit the rear of the AlphaTauri driver and someone else in the wall. Who's that? Just coming Sam.
It is just coming Sam, yeah. But yeah, over the weekend I'm going to be doing some stuff for your channel points, and we are going to be running regular polls where you guys can gamble your channel points on, and you can then, if you win, if you're part of the ones that win it, you do get a percentage of all of those channel points back as well. So say for example you put 100 on there and there's 1,000 people, but only 1,000 in there, but only 3 people do that. That 1,000 is then split between the 3 of you.
Nice.
So you then get to earn those channel points back, and then you can then use those channel points to redeem things throughout the thing, and you can actually set it up that say if you get like 100,000 channel points, you can actually redeem a subscription.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a very nice thing actually, guys. So it's very good. But I am going to need to just again disappear and finish off with this little boy.
No worries.
Very soon, guys.
No problems. I will be taking over for the foreseeable while Sipper does his daddy duties once more. He is on board with Kai, so I'll let you know the situation with people until Mo has left the session after that DNF, to which we will now be on this all safety debris on the track. It might come on the track. So guys, let me just have a little look now and see what the situation is on the stream. I believe it's the same. Weird hearing myself a couple of times over, but we are now in a little traffic jam behind this Aston Martin safety car here at Monza, and the guys in real life were actually here this weekend as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what the situation is going to be this weekend. What are your guys' thoughts on who could potentially win this weekend, and who could potentially crash out of this month's Grand Prix? As we've seen, it's quite easy to crash here, especially on this game as well, but it's nothing compared to real life. Yeah, it's a very fast and flowing track in my opinion. I quite like the track, and I think it will make up for a good race on Sunday. But we are doing another lap under this safety car, as I believe Peter Silver has just joined the back of this group, and Spoof following along closely now with Mason and Villeneuve just rejoining the group, and Spoof currently just boxed all the hards with Mason going on the softs. So quite a bold move there, but could be quite a good one to be fair, because he can then get to the state of where you box on those mediums and triples. So it could be a good call there for Mason to potentially get himself further up the field than those people that have drivers that have opted to box for those hards. I'd like to give now back to the leader of this Kai. Had a very, very good race, very fast and consistent. So it was very good to see, and I'm sure that we're going to see a very, very good race as we're only 3 laps in. With this early safety car, it's going to allow the all these people to kind of maybe potentially go that extra couple of laps on their tyres before they decide to hit into fresh ones later on in this race. A few drivers have already boxed and opted to do so, and safety car is in this lap. We see the McLaren driver now just moving away from that safety car as it flies away from them, and we're going to see the warming of the tyres up from everybody now. So before we get underway, and on the safety car behind there prior, he got a very good safety car restart. So let's see if he can replicate that in the feature race. And we are getting ready to go any second now, guys. Let's get ready for it. Then we'll kind of put the pedal to the metal and go for it. He's already created a bit of a gap actually to the Aston Martin driver. That's close right up again now, and he's now put his foot down, and yet again another really, really good restart as he's pulled a second gap. That's crazy. That's a phenomenal restart there from the McLaren driver. 2 British manufacturers leading the way in this race so far. Whoa, Mark 7 got flying down the inside there of the Aston Martin driver, but somehow he stays on the track and doesn't lose control. Very much a dive bomb move there for Mark 7 God. He's currently sat in third with Vintage, the championship leader in 4th, just actually being overtaken by Carnage Achilles, another championship contender. Sorry guys, it's been a very interesting day. But yeah, 4 championship contenders inside the top 6. So in fact 5 potentially with Kai just on the back of that championship battle, and just Tony Sanders is out of this race. All that bringing another safety car out. And that is coming onto the back straight where the DRS section is. We hit the curb and lost control, and it is another full-blown safety car. That Aston Martin safety car is going to be low on fuel at this rate. But yeah, really a couple of one lap of full racing speed. So that's going to probably be frustrating for the drivers because you just want to get on track and just go for it. And when you've got to cruise around for a couple of laps, it can be quite long-winded. But yeah, the guys are now just coming down the pits. I thought the Ferrari there was going to come in, but that was just him leaving. I don't believe that no one's decided to come in. Nobody into the pits, so that is an interesting one as well. I believe it's the right thing as well.
Just back in time, sorry about that. What's happened?
Another safety car.
Mason said I'm putting in a report after this race.
I don't know, I've not got it on the chat at the moment.
David gifting a sub there to Palofsky. Wow. David coming in with a gifted sub as well. Berger saying, do you need to have a certain amount of followers to get channel points enabled? No, I don't think so, but I don't think they're active at the moment because I've not got into the dashboard basically. I think I need to set it all up for the channel, which is what I'm going to do at the weekend. I just need access to it, and that is what Shane needs to give me access to. So what was this safety car for? Tila Silva?
Tommy Sam.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mason's saying he's putting in a report after this race. Not sure what's happened. And Baguette's saying the safety car Delta stuff is BS. Yes, it is.
Yeah. It really isn't good here. Like, I lost a couple of seconds of time in the sprint, I believe, because I was like well under my Delta. Fine, nothing to worry about. And then all of a sudden it just drastically changed and dropped like a second underneath it. And I had to slow right down as I crossed the line, and it cost me lots of time. And
okay, I get you.
Just one of them things.
Just touching back on Berger, I think you may need to get 15 subs before points are active. So I've got looking at it here, 4 out of 15 to sub points. So it's very possible. It's very possible you need 15 subs before they active. But I won't know for definite until over the weekend. I haven't had a chance to look at a affiliate dashboard yet. So once I've looked and seen what's going on, I'll have a better understanding about it all as well.
Yeah, our second safety car of this race. We've not really had much racing action so far today in Tier 4, but hopefully that will happen after the safety car, and we can get some proper racing laps in. And 2 safety cars so far this week. 4 the Tier 4 guys, 1 in the sprint and 1 just now. And Kai in both of the restarts had an incredible one and gapped Phil by second in the sprint one.
Really?
Yeah, and this one, he gapped it by a second, so quite impressive. So I wonder if he will be able to replicate that, because I believe it will be in this lap. Everybody's in this pack now, so I'm going to presume.
Yes,
it is this lap. So Racing Controller said the safety car is in this lap. Kai, once again, will be backing the pack up before we get underway, or race once more.
Berger, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. As I said, I don't know until I get in to the dashboard, and they may need turning on. I don't know. Let's have a little look.
We'll figure it out.
No, channel
Kai will be
there.
getting the channel. There we go. Kai has just gone us underway once more, and that's falling in his same gap, and Carnage
has overtaken before the safety car line. He's ducked back in now. So yeah, that was actually technically an illegal overtake there from Carnage.
Was that a bit of? I bet there was a bit of contact in the middle field,
and huge amount of contact. There's a bit of front wing. I think that's from Vintage actually.
Championship leader there, and he's got side-pod damage on the right lane.
Yeah, he has.
That's not going to be good for his weekend.
Esports Pain literally just forced his way past MZ there. Literally forced his way through.
Well,
that's probably going to be a ticket on its own there.
Actually, I didn't see it, but Carnage there on the 6 lap old softs is actually they're not. No, give them a couple more laps and they will be screaming. The Delta says that you should only go about 6 laps on them. But you can
really good exit out of the Scari, getting past Mark 7 God down towards the Parabolica. As we've got this fight, and then we've got Carnage Achilles versus Baguette. Baguette's hard tyres just coming to life now.
Yeah, they but Carnage using all of his battery actually. Carnage only down to less than 30% actually. Page on 62, so
not using it, doesn't need to. Knows that the tyres are going to die. Knows that they'll be, getting P2 back very soon.
She can potentially just try and stay with him. Sector 1 yellow flag. Who was that for?
Massive.
Mason.
We've got MZ, Mason,
Vintage.
and Spoof.
Vintage and Mason. Yeah. I believe Vintage has got no front wing.
Yeah, no front wing there.
Yeah, no front wing for Vintage. So this race is gone bad to worse for him now. I think that car is going to be pretty undrivable now. It's alright with a little bit of side-pod damage.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah, you could just see how hard it's vintage to turn that AlphaTauri now. Look, you can see it's proper heavy to turn. And I just to point out that AlphaTauri team 10th and 11th not having the best of races here, are they?
No, they're not. Definitely aren't. I think the one-shot quality throws people off as well.
Yes, very much so as well. Yeah, it's a bit of a different format for Monza, and I believe we are back to the normal short qualifying 50% race format for the rest of the season. I believe it's the situation, and DRS is now enabled for the first time, I believe, in this race.
The fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
As all
they're starting to go off.
A little bit of a moment there for the Ferrari driver on home soil for the team's home soil here at Monza, so we'll be looking to get a good result here for sure.
Yeah, just looking through at the moment. They get on the hards. Villeneuve and Spoof on the hards. MZ's just come out of pits on the hards. Too far back to really make any difference or any notable difference. Carnage's softs are, I would say, dead.
Yeah, in this lap, if not next lap, and his light is flashing as well.
Come into their prime now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Carnage's light is flashing, so he's using 6% battery and is still using it, so...
I mean, the hards are coming that much into play now that the gap between her and the leader has just dropped 4 tenths.
Yeah, and the problem that he's saying out, so the problem that Baguette could potentially have now is that if she doesn't get this moved on in turn 1, then that she could be held up by those tyres that are slow, but she's made them move. From on the outside, nice move there, and you can see how much more traction she has coming out of that corner there compared to those odds.
Yeah, and you've got a Zippy on the mediums coming at the at Carnage as well now.
Yeah, those tyres are starting to suffer a little bit now. It's could be time to box for Carnage.
For so long.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I said at the start 9 laps is probably the maximum I would think to take them.
I guess the safety cars have helped life a little bit.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it will have helped slightly, but I think it's about time that those the Ferrari needs to box, in my opinion, more than likely for that set of hards, because I don't think you could get mediums 17 laps, 16 laps. It's possible, but I think in the long-term game, you're looking at the hards to be the more beneficial tyre to be on. And they work really well here as well, in my opinion.
Yes, they do.
He's coming in, yep. Well, he was taken coming out the final corner. So the Ferrari driver is in one of your championship contenders now in the box. And what tire is he going to be going on? And he is going on to the hards, the best choice in my opinion. So he shouldn't have to stop again, barring if there's a late safety car, for example. He may want to go onto a fresh set of stops if he has one, but time will tell. But anyways, move to the front guys now, and I'm thinking those mediums, the medium tires, they'll probably box, I'd say, in between lap 12 and 14 is my best bet, because that's what we were kind of seeing in box, and that was without the safety cars really, and with the safety cars you're looking at potentially pushing them a couple more laps.
Yeah, I mean a safety car around what, lap 15? No, 27 laps, I think. The softs we've just seen can do 9 laps.
Yeah.
10 at a push. Esports Spain gets a penalty. I mean, yeah, around lap 18 would be pretty crucial for these hard runners.
Definitely.
I mean, that would be like dreamland for hard runners right now.
Yeah, it would be for sure, and it'll be interesting to see now. This is kind of this stage in this race now where you'll see that
5 seconds given a pit lane penalty. So the medium started to struggle after around lap 10, 11. So interesting to see whether Baguette's hards or how much of an advantage they have, because at the minute Zippy is still closing that gap on those hards, on the mediums. So, but Baguette is also closing the gap to Kai on the mediums. So, I think Kai may have pushed his tyres a bit harder than what Zippy has.
Actually, yeah.
Villeneuve getting very close to MK7 God. Again, hards versus mediums. So it does seem like the mediums are starting to fall off a little bit now.
Yeah, this, I was going to say, coming down that straight, this is kind of the stage in this race and where that window where those mediums do start to drop off a little bit more than those hards, and we start to kind of see the difference in that tyre at this stage of this race.
Yeah, Villeneuve is closing in at quite some pace now. He's had an excellent exit out of Ascari. He's just behind going into the Parabolica, but the DRS down into turn 1. If MK7 God doesn't box, Villeneuve is going to be in 4th place before. I mean, look at the grip. Look at the traction difference. I mean, MK7 God is boxing, but the drive that Villeneuve had out of the Parabolica there was just incredible in comparison to those mediums. And Baguette again another 2 tenths out of climbing his lead.
Yep. It's hard. They're definitely starting to come into their own once more. So
eSports Paint on a fresh set of soft tyres. Interesting strategy choice there for him. Absolutely blasts past MZ down the straight with DRS.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see now because Zippy's round.
Zippy spun, yeah.
He spun.
Any damage there,
I'm gonna have a look. I don't see any damage. Doesn't look like there's damage. Not what I can see anyway. So that's a big moment actually for Zippy. So Kai will see that Zippy's all of a sudden vanished. That could be a bit of a worrying sign to the medium runner that's currently leading this race, but maybe I've got to be a little bit more tentative on that throttle.
1.2, so that's another 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths that gets taken out. So it's an interesting vintage against Mason. Zippy into the pits, there must have been some damage.
Yeah. Sector 3 is that? Payne's gone round.
Yeah, Payne, has he got damage? Though he's spinning around again.
Yeah, he has got damage.
He's got no front wings, so we could see a virtual for that debris on the track. I don't think we're going to.
I don't think we will. I think the debris might have stayed off the track slightly and not been on the
between P1 and 2, or just over a second again now. But there's going to be potentially DRS down the straight, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon that'll be DRS. And it's interesting to see the batteries. They're both almost identical, 39%, 40% per page, and 38% for Kai, so almost identical on the battery as well.
eSports Pain had a moment through Parabolica as well.
Yeah,
gonna have
so
DRS down into turn 1 this time round.
Yeah.
And he's gone straight on at turn 1 as Pain.
Very interesting. Kai's in.
Kai's in. But that's gifted page DRS.
Yeah, and that will just help us speed down this front straight. And is he retired on track? Interesting to see if we run on board with Page, we might be able to capture it. I don't think he has, he may have just spun.
I think he has. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Interesting that they've not bought a virtual after that. Unless it was off the racing line completely.
Maybe. I mean, with the 2 safety cars and the safety car in the sprint race, I think that safety car may have run out of fuel. I won't be surprised if it did. No doubt they probably added that secretly into the game. But yeah, I'm surprised there was no safety car, seeing that the front runner was coming round that part of the circuit.
Yeah, so Kai in Sport X actually, I was just taking out 4 tenths of Spoof X in 2 corners. So Kai's showing some real pace. I actually think Kai's a tier 3 driver, personally.
Yeah, he is fast. He really is fast. And can he get the drive on Spoof here?
You're going to need to... Yeah, Spoof broke really early.
Oh, I think he's almost been done by his teammate, or he might have actually been letting his teammate go.
Yeah, I think he may have let his teammate go because of the difference in strategy.
And as well, tire life as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming to that safety car point now where the halves will really benefit from it.
Yeah, so Page has got about a 22-23 second lead to Kai, so... Oh, Carnage off! Oh, on the straight.
Rear wing damage there. I don't know what Carnage has done now.
He hit the grass. And then
How do you hit the grass on a straight?
I don't know how he did that.
How do you manage that? That's got to be rear wing damage on the car then.
I'll be very surprised if he's not got rear wing damage on that car. Very surprised.
Comes up down the inside. Carnage fighting the pack around the outside contact between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri.
Not a lot really happening in this race other than the battle here for 6th place.
Yeah, it's becoming... Zippy's joining in, NZ there, Carnage is there, and 1-7 Grosser. So 4-car fight for P5 at the moment.
P5, I mean.
Page is in right, on board with Kai now to see. He's coming around the parabolica. What is the gap going to be? Because Page is leaving the pit box now. He's going to get past her. She's gone mediums, obviously. As I tell you what, this is going to be quite close. And Page on a quicker tyre as well. So it'll be interesting to see just the pace advantage. And in fact, Kai's actually gained 3 tenths.
Most of those mediums will be cold though, won't they, coming out of the pits? So that's also a factor we've got to take into account, where it's going to take a few corners for those to get up to temperature. I've noticed that it takes a little less time now for these tyres to get up to temperature on this game than it did at release, in my opinion.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's because we've gotten used to it, or they've just changed it so they actually do warm up quicker. Because it used to take a lap for them to actually get up to temperature, whereas now it's like half a lap and you're in your groove again.
Yeah, NZ very close to back at Carnage here. Was very close to back at Carnage.
Was very close.
Really further back now, that was an awful entry to Ascari.
Yeah, it was. Using his battery now to try and catch up to Carnage, and all these lights flashing now as we speak, so Villeneuve currently on 70% battery with a Kai on 40, Page on 50, so these front three definitely keeping their battery pretty good, which is in my opinion.
Yeah. To extend this out for a soft stick, but just imagine the scene with the safety car comes out.
Commentators cursing because that would absolutely change everything, wouldn't it? Really, because that would be music to Villeneuve.
Get 7 tenths, 8 tenths, closing 9 tenths, losing time but gaining as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah. She will be in DRS. Yep, she has got DRS on him, so that's going to help out coming down this back straight and also coming onto the main straight if she can get Ascari right as well.
Hasn't gained a huge amount of time though.
No.
But close enough to really put a challenge in down the DRS straight or the pit straight. I mean,
Ascari was done quite well.
I was going to say, look at the exit out of Ascari into the parabolica, and dare you say 4 tenths is close enough to make a challenge in the turn. Just got to keep it clean. Yeah, look at the drive, look at the run. Yeah, here we go.
There we go. Will there be a defence from Kai? There is. Moves over into the pit lane, but that Aston zooms past
Yeah,
the McLaren driver.
That's They're getting to the lead of this race now.
It is, and now it's time to try and put the hammer down and absolutely try and fly away. If she can get a decent gap, maybe 0.8 or something, 0.9, then it should be okay for the DRS straights, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. As Mark 7 God losing out to Spoof and Zippy. Zippy then goes around the outside of Spoof through the Curva Grande and up into 5th place.
Yeah.
Kai's
only half
definitely
second.
Kai's definitely got some pace here.
He does.
But they get they're still around about the same amount of that's it.
Oh.
That's the buffer.
That's the buffer.
Do you want to check warnings and penalties and
yes,
keep it on the down line?
Okay.
Make it more interesting towards the end. Again, pushing now 22.4 fastest lap of the race, beating the previous fastest lap set the lap before.
Yeah, these penalties will definitely help some of the situations, especially the situation further down the field. If Vintage can catch up, he could see himself potentially get a few extra points here in this race, which would kind of damage limitations this race, I would say, for Vintage.
Losing time to Speed.
Yeah. It's definitely a bit of a...
gaining on Khan's Achilles here.
Yeah. I wonder if Villeneuve is going to decide to box, or will he try and actually... He can't get those tyres to the end, surely, because...
Has he boxed already?
Yes, he's done 18 laps on hard.
You can go on the hards from lap 2. And they'll go to the end.
Yeah, you're probably right, so he could potentially do it. I mean, he's got that 12-second gap, and he could be trying to weigh out the odds of, okay, those mediums are going to be wearing as well as we go on, and he needs to be looking at each lap, how much he's losing. Yeah, he is. And Villeneuve will just need to be kind of looking at the timings to see how much these two in second and third right now are actually gaining on him, to weigh out the fact of, do I actually really need to box it, or do I feel comfortable enough to long these hard times out?
Yeah, definitely. Zippy and Khan still very close together, like crazily close together.
Yeah, that is very true. 2 championship contenders battling for 4th right now. Another 2 championship contenders really battling for 2nd and 3rd. With the championship leader down in 8th.
Yeah,
really, this is quite a huge race.
Just watching the timings really, and parts of the map that they're on. So, Sector 1, Baguette is stronger. Yeah, Sector 2, Kai is stronger. And Sector 3, Baguette has just enough there to be stronger, but with that said, let's see, Kai's too far back. Look, he's losing time.
And that could also be down to setup as well on the straights.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Setup for Baguette is suited to Sector 1 and 3, whereas Kai's is Sector 2. But because Sector 2 is more cornering, he just cannot get close enough to compensate where he's lacking down the straights. When you look at the gap now, so the gap now going into Sector 2 is a second. Have a look at this gap towards the end of Sector 2. You'll notice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about a quarter of a second ish through Sector 2.
And then towards the end of it, through here and Ascari into Parabolica down into turn 1, that's where Baguette is stronger.
Saying that. Kai has done Ascari beautifully.
He has. And he's also had to lift massively there. But look at the gap.
Should pull back again, yeah.
Baguette isn't using DRS. Isn't using LS.
No, she's not using the ERS, is she?
Look, the gap is gaining. Even with DRS, the gap is still gaining.
That's crazy, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sector 1 and 3, Baguette's got it down to a T. Sector 2, Kai's got it. But that one sector of Kai is just not enough to get him close enough to even look at making a challenge into turn 1. Now, Villeneuve continuing on these tyres, they're going to be screaming at him towards the end of this race. Now, 10 seconds is the gap. I just wonder what can Baguette do here? I don't think I really on the cards at the moment unless Villeneuve boxes or a safety car comes there.
Yeah, I don't think the win is on the cards here. I mean, the gap's not come down quick enough. So I do think Villeneuve is going to try and get these tyres to the end. I mean, they could.
Well, going back to Canada, I believe Baguette got the win for Canada.
Oh, really?
Yes, because there was a time penalty handed to Vintage for being in AI. And
okay.
it was a 3-second penalty, I think it was. Which
okay.
And Baguette was half a second behind, so I believe Baguette actually got the win in Canada. So that's vital points stolen from Vintage and handed to Baguette. A second place here over an 8th place is absolutely crucial for Baguette's championship challenge.
Let's have a look here, because 8th is what, 4 points, I believe? Yeah, so 8th is 4 points, and let me just double check.
It's a 14-point difference between Baguette and Vintage at the moment.
14, do you say?
Yeah, because 18 is second.
That's crucial race here, potentially the championship outcome with only a few rounds remaining.
So lap 24 of 27, Villeneuve does lead Baguette and Kai in 3rd place. Carnage in 4th, Zippy 5th, Mark 7 God 6th, Spoof X in 7th with Vintage 8th, Mason 9th and MZ in P10, and holding that current fastest lap is MZ. So he will get that championship point for the fastest lap there, stealing it from Baguette.
It's Vintage on 86 and Beige on 65, so it's 19 point difference. So
that'll put 5 points between them.
Yeah. That's very, very close now at the top. And also, they've all gained points on Vintage this race if it stays as it is, because you've got Carnage that's currently sat on 73 points.
Oh my god.
He's sat in 4th.
Zippy and Carnage Achilles almost collecting each other there down the straight.
Let's have a look at this battle here. We've got 2 laps a couple of laps remaining now, lap 25 or 27. We're coming to the closing stages of this Grand Prix.
They get closing in, but not enough. 2nd place is going to be the best decision, unless Villeneuve gets a puncture, of course.
Yeah, which it could happen. I mean, Booth is also on 23 lap old cards, so the Ferrari driver in 7th is on the same length tyres as Villeneuve. So
be interesting to see if they are getting to puncture territory, of course.
It could be. I reckon they are getting pretty close to that now.
Zippy versus Carnage once again coming out of the starting chicane down towards Parabolica. Let's see how close they are into turn 1 this time round. Before they were tripping over each other and almost collecting each other.
Let's see what will happen down this straight. Zippy on the 3-lap younger tyres compared to Carnage. So that could play all the difference in these last 2 laps of this Grand Prix. Every point matters for these two guys as well. So
I tell you what, Kai 1.5, 1.6 behind now. He's completely fallen off of the back of Page now.
Maybe he's just thinking, okay, maybe he was on the limit here and he just potentially let a few slide, and he was maybe thinking, okay, let's just calm this down now. It's P3, it's a podium, let's bring home valuable points here for the team and also my own championship. And you know, every single point matters. If you're finishing consistently good points finishes, then that could make or break your championship pretty much. So I think he's just kind of settled down now and it's just thought, let's just bring this home. And personally, I can't blame him. It's been a pretty crazy race. That now to Villeneuve it's coming down quite quick now on this last lap, but I think that's Villeneuve just starting to calm this down. Oh, Carnage spam. Sorry.
Carnage has had a moment, yes, and that is going to be MK7 God. Is he close enough? I don't know if he is, you know. I think Carnage has actually just about managed to save himself here.
Vintage has come onto the back of Spoof as well.
Vintage is round the outside of Spoof.
Yeah, he is. He's going to get DRS as well, I believe, yeah. But then Spoof will have the slipstream off that AlphaTauri. They're side by side.
Oh, he's up broken down.
Yeah. That's it.
There's just no point Spoof trying to get through there. He's never going to work.
Yeah, that's why on one of the old games you could actually do it.
Yeah, you could, but here comes Villeneuve down towards Parabolica. 4-1 last time. And I'll tell you what, Page took 3 seconds out of his time.
Yep.
In 2 laps, I think. Villeneuve comes home to take the victory though. Well played for Villeneuve there. Here comes Baguette to take a very, very solid P2.
Yep.
Kai in
P3.
third and keeps third place with that time penalty. Zippy too far back to even challenge that at all there. And Zippy takes 4th place with Carnage in 5th place at the moment. They have made it through. Ascari for the final time, so should be home and dry unless they lose it through the Parabolica, which wouldn't be the first time.
That was
taking P6 there. Vintage in 7th place. Spoof X into 8th. Mason in 9th place. Baguette. Cards can go from lap 2 to the end. 67%. Villeneuve's tyre 67%.
Wow, that's actually amazing.
Yep. So I mean, they can do this entire race comfortably.
Crazy when you think about it. That was your tier 4 race. Neato.
Pretty good race actually.
Yeah, it was actually quite an enjoyable one. I'll head on to the stream now, just have a little look. What situation is over there? Before we show you guys the results of the sprint and also the feature race.
So there we go then, guys. Villeneuve wins with Baguette in 2nd place, Kai into 3rd, Zippy 4th, Carnage Achilles in 5th place, and then you've got Mark 7 God there in 6th, Vintage in 7th, Spoof in 8th, Mason 9th, and MZ there in 10th place. Your non-finishers, Esports Pain, T De Silva, Just Komisan, and Tilmo. And I believe they want absolutely this. So your overall winner was Villeneuve, Baguette in second, Kai in third. I think it's basically, oh no, it is different. We've got Mark 7 got in fourth, Carnage Achilles in fifth place, Zippy sixth, PBE Vintage in seventh, Mason 8th, Spoof 9th, MZ takes 10th place there, and then Tilmo scoring the 1 point in the sprint race for 11th place, and then Esports Pain, Tila Silva just combing out, not scoring any points this evening. So there we go, guys. That is your Tier 4 race over with for this evening, and it's that is this week over for Prospects, of course. Back again on Monday for Tier 1.
Yep, we are indeed. And we will be in Hungary next week.
Oh, very nice. Good track.
Yep, we are in Hungary next week.
It's a very good track. Lots of action happens at Hungary.
Yep, I will just triple check that it is Hungary next week. And it is. We are in Hungary for round 8 before we head to the remaining 4 tracks after that.
So guys, that is it for this week, and thanks very, very much for tuning in, of course, this week, especially this evening, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
Much appreciation for you guys being here. Thanks to the new followers. Thank you for the new supporters. That means a lot. As we hope to build on that from next week, guys. But for now, we are going to say goodnight. And yeah, I've been Zippo.
I've been Chappers.
And we'll see you again next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night, guys.